Hey everyone, in this video we're going to be going over how to make adjustments to the octave mechanism on a neck as it relates to the octave mechanism on the body of a saxophone. And this is kind of specifically intended for people who are going to be receiving the heritage necks in the mail to try, but it's also really important to understand how this relationship works in case you need to try a different neck, or if something happens to your neck and you need to do this yourself on a gig and you don't want to go running to your repair tech, because it's a fairly simple one to do. So essentially, with a great working octave mechanism the way it should be, when you press down with your left thumb, you're going to see the octave key raise up with a little bit of play right here between this and this piece, and we're going to talk about that in a second, and reach a height of about 3 to 5 millimeters up above the tone hole. And you're going to know it's great because when you play an A or a note above that, it's not going to be stuffy, you're not going to hear a hissing sound, and the key height there is going to affect that. Now, when you play a G or a note below that A, it should come right back down immediately and close on the tone hole, creating a seal. So the first thing I would do when you're trying any neck or to test and make sure your neck is working properly is, put the neck on and play an A to a G and just make sure that that transition is really smooth. Now, if it's not, it's probably related to the key height, and we're going to learn how to change that. So essentially, I want you to think of this key, which is the one that we're going to be working with and learning how to very carefully bend, as an angle, like a V. The more open the V is, the more open this key is going to be. The more closed this shape is, this V shape, the more closed this is going to be when we press down with our left thumb. So to change that relationship, if the octave mechanism, or key rather, is not opening up high enough to open up that angle, what you're going to do is put your fingers underneath the pad here, and you can do this with two hands, and then reach down here where the yoke is. I call this the yoke, and carefully, brass is very soft, so go carefully, kind of bounce, I'd say, is the motion, these two pieces against each other. And again, you're going to open up that angle, and as you can see now, the octave key is raising up significantly higher, almost so high that it's not sealing here on the tone hole. So to make it more closed, so that we get the seal to close down the angle, again, you're going to lift this off the tone hole so that you're not pressing down onto the neck. It's basically completely free from the neck apart from where it's held on by the rod, and just carefully squeeze. You can see in my hand, it's not one big crunch because we don't want to damage the neck. Bend it back into place, and you're going to feel it move, and it doesn't take much. That's the key here. And so now we're basically back to where we started. So that's the overall principle. It's really easy to do. The last thing that I'm going to mention is the relationship between what I call the octave spur and the neck octave yoke. And it's really important, and some people don't know this, to have a little bit of play here, a little bit of lost motion between this hitting this and engaging it and lifting it up. And as you can see here in the example, see how it's moving just a little bit before it touches here? There's a couple reasons why that's important and why you should make that adjustment to your horn if it's not like that right now. One is, if this is touching this, there's a very good likelihood of a chance that it can blow open when you're playing. And your horn might be playing great, and then all of a sudden, like, the bottom just drops out from under you and you're wondering why. It's probably because you've blown this key open. The other thing is, saxophone players don't always like to line this up with the guard here on the neck. They like to move their necks around, and when you do that, the more you turn left and right from center, you're actually bringing this a little bit closer because we're dealing with an arc here. It's not, a flat plane. And as a result, if you happen to turn your neck too far, you could accidentally open this up again, and as a result, your neck is not going to seal. So I always recommend just a hair of play there so there's no chance that it's going to blow open. And again, when you do that, it's going to engage and come down, perfectly on the neck. So that's, again, how to make those adjustments. If you have any questions or you don't feel comfortable, please give me a call, email me, and I'll walk you through how to do this on the phone or via Skype. But it's fairly simple. Again, just take your time, go easy, because again, we are dealing with a soft metal here. Don't just go grabbing and pulling on stuff. But you should be able to do this by yourself and know how to. All right, cool. Thanks for watching.